Hey guys, Doug the Retirement Guy here. We got a review of a YieldMax SMCI Options Income Strategy ETF. Is it good for a retirement account? I'll tell you what, I got blown away when this got introduced to me, and the dividend yield of 102%. I said immediately, throw that on the fire. Let's take a look at it. I want to either A, we're going to be invested into this one, or we're going to make sure no one else gets involved or loses any money. But before we get into this, I want to thank each and every one of you for watching our videos. The subscribe button is being pushed. Thank you so much. It is out of sight. We're adding tons of new subscribers. The comments are rolling in. We appreciate that. We're here to answer any of your questions that you have. We've added something in the description. Look down below. You'll see a Patreon link. Guys, we're just saying if you can help the channel, great. Anything we'll do, $1, $2, $5, all helps the channel as we help develop this complete view for you. Let's get into today's video because I'm excited about this one to see is it real or not. So SMCY is YieldMax's SMCI Options Income Strategy ETF. You probably have not heard, but SMCI is a super micro computer incorporated. Now, this is a company that was going to be going crazy with the smart computers, AI type stuff. These are going to be the super packs of computing. And so basically, these guys got into it to buy the shares of SMCI, sell them on covered calls, very similar strategy that they use on a lot of YieldMax's packages, generate some nice income, also invest money into treasury notes and bonds to help drive interest income from that as well. And what we're finding out here is the distribution rate of 110% is phenomenal. And a 30-day SE yield at 2.63 always comes back with some great SEC yields. And I started wondering why. So let's take a look at what their holdings are. And again, guys, this thing shows they're buying the standard procedure that YieldMax is using. They're buying treasury bills and notes in different periods, getting different interest rates, locking in those rates, putting in, hundreds of millions of dollars into those funds, which generates a lot of income, which gives you that SEC rating. Now, buying into the shares of SMCI has been very good, and selling the options is where they're trying to make their big income from. So why SMCY? Well, I don't care who you are. If someone throws out their 110% return on your money, that's basically doubling your money in 1 year. I think we'll all look at it, and we'll all take some serious stuff and say, is this real or not real? Now, that 110 is definitely over a specific period of time, and it includes both your dividends, interest, capital gains, everything tiled into one big number to try to get it there. That 2.63 30-day SEC yield, as I told you, that comes from those interest rates. So don't get yourself excited when you just see those numbers. It really tells you got to look more deeper into what are they holding, what are they doing. So do they have money coming in? Most definitely. Is it from the dividends? Is it from the stocks? No, it's coming from the treasury notes. Monthly dividends, they're paying out monthly dividends. Now, this one I mark is it's not guaranteed. We do like the monthly dividends here on the channel for two reasons. One, you can reinvest the potential of buying more shares at a lower discounted price after the dividend's been paid to reinvest back into it to grow your account. Or the one that we look the best here is that's the regular cash flow that every month I'm going to get a check from this one. We're going to be able to pay our bills and move forward. Now, this fund came out in September of 2024, so it's a very, very limited amount of time for us to find any investigation, any history onto it, and that's always the first asterisk we put out there is if we don't have enough time to do research, then you better be proven that we can get this number on a long-term regular basis. So we started looking at the return factor from the SMCY, 1 month out, 26% return, 3 months out, 12.69 return, year to date, 15.81. So I'm very impressed with those numbers up front. It hasn't been there for a full year, so they cannot report that. But when we take a look at this and say since inception, they're down 22%. So again, this leaves me questioning if you're doing really good in the first 3 months and the year to date, what happened with the inception program? So we need to do some little more legwork and dig deeper into this account. So what we decided to do, we take a look at the since inception. If we were able to invest $10,000 into this fund back in September, what would our numbers actually look like? Well, at that time, the stock was selling for $50.62. $10,000 would have bought us 197 shares. And if we go ahead and run all the way up to February 12th, The stock is virtually split in half. It's $28.14, or we lost 44.41% of our net value of that shares. So you're not doubling your money here if you're going to be paying out 44% of it back out. The dividend only picked up $2,700 or 27.11% return. So realistically, the total return since inception to me is down 17.3%. So it makes you want to sit here and think, what happened between September, October to the thing to cut in half? Now we look at the numbers from November, December, January, February are all right in, they're right in line with each other. Why was this thing so overvalued at the beginning? So we said if we invested money into this fund back in November, when the stock really straightened itself out, what does it look like? Well, right off the bat, we would have had a 3.72% gain. We had a dividend return of 33.46%. So that has been a strong number for us. Or we would have had a 37.18% total return. Now, these numbers, guys, you got to remember, these things are only being done over a short 4-month period. So when we look at 33%, that's for the first 4 months. You almost could take and times that by 3 and come back and you'd have 100% return on your money just from the dividends as a whole, if the stock price holds on its own. So going into this, buying at that discounted rate has made this now back to saying this could be a possibly good, strong place to be. But I still understand, how did it lose in 2 months? How did it lose its value? There's no way that this thing could have been overrated that big, that fast, right off the bat. So we take a look at the price adjustments over time, and SMC fell flat. And we see the first big bump here at the very top. It was doing that $54 price point. Things looks like it was going great. And then it took a huge drop in November. I mean, just rocketing to the bottom. And now the rest of the time, it comes up, goes down, comes up, goes down, as we see in these charts. Well, here's the magic answer to the question that we've been looking at. SMCI, which is the super microcomputer stock, dropped significantly in October, primarily because of an auditor. Ernst & Young abruptly resigned, citing concerns about the company's financial statements and unwillingness to associate with them, raising serious questions about the company's accounting practices and the potential leading to a delisting of the NASDAQ exchange. The news caused a large drop in the stock price. Guys, I told you there was something that didn't smell right in Denmark. There was something out there that was wrong, and that's what happened. When you lose your auditor in a SEC stock environment, you're lucky that you're not delisted. You're lucky you're still sitting here. This thing dropped off the cliff because of that. We sat down, once we had that information, we looked deeper into the stock, and we actually found more information out that all the allegations that's been going on with the SMCI, the super microcomputer company, have all come back as false. This thing was not being misrepresented. This thing was they were putting all the information out there, but somewhere in between this Ernst & Young and the company, there was a disconnect between the two. Something was not working right. And it throws warning flags out there. So in my eyes, this fund is actually probably pretty safe now that this cat is out of the bag and where it's dialed into. But they're not climbing anywhere fast as they once did. And again, is that from lack of information? Is that from being just wrong information being put out there? So in summary, the return of 3.72 in 4 months, or since inception losing 44.41%, we're going to put that as a thumbs down. The dividend return over the last 4 months, 33.46. Since the inception of 27.11, we're going to give that one a thumbs up. This is where we come back, guys, and say, if you do that math and that 33 holds, you're probably looking at 100% return on your money strictly off of dividends. But that's making sure you buy at that right special price. So our total return of 37.18 with the dividends, loss of 17.3 including dividends over the inception time. Again, thumbs down. So this thing's a little hard to read. It's a little hard to understand, but I want you to understand with this one, we're still baby stepping. We're still slowly walking this. Like I said, the last 4 months, I love their numbers. Can they hold? Can they be where they want to be? Will supercomputers continue taking off, doing what they want. When I look at supercomputers as a whole, they're still down. In the last month, they're up 9%. The last 5 days, they're down 7.38%. Year to date, they're up 23%. So it's one of those things it's probably coming out at a positive time, but it's just one of these things of you can't gamble when you're in retirement. So is SMCY good for a retirement account? And the answer is no. This is too risky of an account to be involved into in a retirement account. I know we all want 100% dividends. I know we all want 50% dividends. But the thing is, it's too risky for an account at all to be involved into. So we take a look at the dividends, like I said, is 27% or 33%. Your NAV loss, 44%. Your gain in the last 3 months is 3.72%. All I can tell you guys is this one needs time to settle its issues. It needs time to reorganize and regroup to make sure that we have trust in their auditors. We have trust in the company that they're being honest and upfront and telling us the truth. And that's what auditors are designed to do. So this one here just needs time to settle, and it could turn into be something worthwhile. As I say, even if we got half the dividends back out of it, it would be phenomenal for an account. But right now, we're at a hold. We have to hold this thing. We will come back with SMCY and check it out later and see if this is a fun for us to be playing in. And the reason for that is I still have that catch of those dividends. 4 months out, 33%. Do some simple math. We could be at 100% in dividends. I'd hate to see us lose that if we had an opportunity. But right now, guys, hold tight. Let's give it another month. Let's give it another 2 months, and we'll get back to it.